Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4. Week 28 of the weekly challenges is upon us, and it's time for the Harley Davidson VR1000R in Road America. So what I'll try to do is give you some pointers of this track and how to improve your lap times with this Harley Davidson. So first things first, as you see that little bit of pathway on your left hand side there, use that as your braking marker for going into turn 1. Now you can use that bit of rumble strip that's not really painted, it's just a little bit treacherous to go on there, so be careful if you do. Now going into the right hand side for turn 3, you can go for a wider exit like so, or you can go for a tighter apex, which is probably the better option, but for me I went for the wider line. I just felt like it was what I've always tended to use. Now of course a paramount part of this track is to make sure you get this part going up right now. As you go down the crest a little bit, begin to hit on the brakes there. It's very difficult to time that one, but I would recommend as you go over the crest ever so gently, begin to brake as second it starts to descend. Braking onto the Corvette corner there for the left-hander. Before the bridge appears, or before you get near the bridge, begin to bring on the brakes. Right hand side, you go for turn 7, try and hold your line going into that corner, and don't touch the grass and the gravel like I did, coming on the exit. Harder the brakes we go now for the left-hander. Again, difficult part because there's not much to mention around the track that you can use as an actual guide. Be very careful on the exit there as well, because you can invalidate your lap for going too far onto the greyer area. Now onto the right hand side for the Carousel, just hold your line, hold the acceleration, just hold it in nice and tight, and then when you're ready and you feel like you can go for it, bring on the power and give it your best shot. Now going to the left hander, I made a little bit of a mistake going into turn 11 and for the mistake for turn 12 as well. It says turn 11 on there for both corners, but let me assure you that is another corner. Bringing on the power now, full acceleration, bring it to the right ever so much, then just a little bit to the left, and then you're going to prepare yourself. Just as you get into the kink, you see a few signage on your left there for the 150 meter braking zone. Hit it there, begin to bring on your front brake and a little bit of rear brake as well, just to make sure the tyres are going the same speed. Now onto the right hand side, we're going to move to a little bit and then move to the left for turn 13. Bring on the power, but not too abruptly. I was using TCS 1 on this one because Ride 4 sensitivity is quite high compared to the likes of MotoGP, and then bring on the power for turn 14, the final corner of this Road America circuit. Now bring on the power, get underneath the NT sign and just give it everything you've got to get across the line to get your gold lap time. So back at it again, going into the first corner. We're going to be looking out for that patch of tarmac on the left there. You see it right there? The right boot goes out at the same time into turn 1. Nice and tight apex, and then bring on the power going near the rumble strip, but not on it because it's very, very bumpy and quite bobbly. Look to your left hand side, and just as you see a little bit of the new barrier building, you could start braking in there, and you see a little bit of a tighter apex with a wider exit as you straighten up the motorcycle to then go into the very, very fast part of this track. Full acceleration here until we can get down to the sort of crest as I mentioned earlier. Look at all the shadows, look at all the dips. You're going to go for the dip there, begin to brake there. It seems clear for me, but I hope it's clear for you guys as well for which part of the track I'm referring to when I say it dips in ever so slightly. When you're going up into this corner, as the graphic on the screen just comes up, give it maybe half a second or a second and then begin to brake going into that corner, which is such a tough corner. It's extremely difficult to get right and to gauge how much speed you're going to carry because you are braking uphill, which is a difficult sort of situation in its entirety. Nonetheless, of course, we're going into Road America sign out for the Carousel. Bring on the power just ever so slightly. Take a look at the bottom right corner of your screen. You're going to see how much acceleration I'm holding for the right hander there, and then you can see the power just gradually being pushed up and applied to go into the next corner. Now braking for the left hander of turn 11, nice and tight, going a wider line onto the right hand side to then bring it in a sweeping fashion to then chuck it into the right hand side with that left right chicane. Now of course bringing on the power, very simple part of the section here, but you're going to focus on some signage on your left hand side there. You're going to see some right hand turns, you can see a 150 meter sign. When you see the 150 meter sign, make sure you're braking at that point, and then you're going to get into the Canada corner without too much issues. Now don't necessarily go on the rumble strip here, that was a mistake on my behalf. I did this a couple of times by mistake, but go near that rumble strip on the right hand side there, and that'll give you enough lean angle to then chuck it into turn 13. And then of course for turn 14, a very simple corner, which doesn't really need too much explanation, but I'll make sure to do it on the next one. But now we're going to bring on the power just for a nice simple straight. You're going to get the maximum amount of speed out of this Harley Davidson, and across the line we go, which is another brilliant lap, of course. Not the best lap in the world, but I'm still pretty confident that's good enough for a podium finish on the leaderboards as things stand. And the same can be said for turn 1. You've seen it the previous lap and the lap before. Make sure you're braking at that sort of different sort of texture on the left-hand side. It's like a pathway, is what I would probably describe it as. And I would use that for the braking going into that corner. Of course, this is 28 of the weekly challenges. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing all these weekly challenges, but I'm still going to continue as much as I can. But for the time being, I hope these have been helping you. If they have, let me know in the comment section down below. I would really like to hear from the people who I'm helping. And but for the time being, we go back into it. I decided to break a little bit earlier there to see if the tighter apex assists us in any way, and it did give us a little bit of an advantage going into the Corvette sign as we just get very, very close to the outside of the track there. Now we're nice and tight to the apex. Follow the track. You can see the darker lines on the track. Follow that. Make sure you're following and sticking with that one, because that gives you the best indication of where other bikes are on the track. So now going hard braking zone for the left-hander of turn 8, and a little bit of mistake has been made there. If we went for a tighter apex, we probably would have been a little bit further ahead right now. But for the time being, it is what it is. I'm not as quick because, of course, we did lose a bit of time compared to the Ghost, compared to that little mistake we made as we go into the Carousel. Now for the Road America sign underneath there, and going to the left-hand side here for the turn 11. Bring in the apex just a little bit, and then get to the right-hand side and give it some more apex, and then bring on the power. But as I say, this is a pretty simple one. It's easy to be caught out in some of the corners, but then most of the corners you're probably going to be alright on. Just be careful and take your time and make sure you follow my lines, and you should be absolutely fine. More than enough to get the gold. Of course, I'm not helping you to try and get world record lap times. I'm just trying to help you get the gold and do what you need to do and get what you came here for. So I made that mistake once again going into the right-hander there, but now into turn 13, very close to the Ghost here. Very, very close indeed, braking in just nicely and trail braking in for turn 14. We might actually end up beating the Ghost if we can get enough power coming out of this corner. We did just touch the gravel there, which will slow us down dramatically, and now of course across the line in a moment's time. Is this going to be enough? It probably won't be, but it's still good enough for the gold. So those on screen are my 3 lap times from today's efforts. Of course, a decent first and third sector in the last lap, but unfortunately the second sector is where I lost it, and therefore we didn't manage to improve. Otherwise we would have improved by a couple of tenths, which would have been a 2:14.605. So that is the leaderboard on screen right now. Challenge 28 complete. I've done 3 laps so far and it's got me second place, so not too bad, considering I'm rather rusty after playing a lot of MotoGP 21 and a bit more games as well. But guys, I hope that has helped you. If it has helped, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed the video, like, comment and subscribe. We're on the hunt for 2,000 subscribers and I'm desperate to get there, so hopefully you guys can assist me out there with a little bit of a personal goal. But upon that note, guys, thanks for watching as always. Hit the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload and stream. And on that note, thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.